So as I mentioned, we're going to be pulling out that protein skimmer out of the sump. We're then going to go ahead and vacuum the sump. There's also this old peristaltic pump that used to replenish fresh water into the system. Some old supplies that didn't do us much good. Maybe take and wipe off the top of that. And at the same time kind of tidy up that electrical that's back inside here. Now I have used some products in the past to try to eliminate the red slime. This is Maricin. It's a medication for bacterial infections. It will very effectively knock down the red slime algae in the tank, because red slime algae technically is a bacteria, more specifically cyanobacteria, and the active ingredient in Maricin, which is erythromycin, will have a devastating effect on that red slime algae. And I have successfully in the past eliminated the red slime algae. But there's two issues. One, the red slime algae always seems to come back. And number two, this isn't specific to the cyanobacteria. It has an effect on other things in the system. Maybe not significantly, but it does have an effect on other things in the system. Another product that we tried didn't seem to help us out at all. And then I have been adding Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate. In the past, we used to use this, a tablespoon per about 50 gallons, to try to encourage mushrooms to expand in size. And it seems to a minor degree they've expanded a little bit here, but nothing significant. So let me go ahead and pull that peristaltic pump as well as the protein skimmer out of the system.
And welcome back to LA Fishguys. You might think I'm crazy for removing the protein skimmer off this old reef system, and you may be right. But while the skimmer does drive out some organics, I don't see it as being a necessary item, and I'm willing to try the new HOG Upflow Algae Scrubber as an alternative. It's my hope and expectation that the scrubber will more effectively remove the organics that have caused a red slime problem in this 14-year-old reef tank for quite some time now.
There's the water pump.
The big advantages of the HOG Algae Scrubber is its small size and easy application. With the protein skimmer out of the way, I can easily install the algae scrubber into the sump. My plan is to clean or vacuum the debris from the sump first, but I do want to address the old protein skimmer before I officially retire it from service.
Now here's just a little FYI. That water pump that drives that protein skimmer, I need to disassemble it and remove the impeller assembly from it and try to clean the area that the impeller sits in, referred to as the sump, as well as the impeller. Because if I don't address both of those, what may happen down the road is the magnet, if the casing around it has been scored at all, may expand. And of course, if that expanded inside the pump, it wouldn't turn. And of course, it would make the pump obsolete. Doesn't necessarily guarantee that if I do remove all those pieces and try to assemble it at a later time, that it'll still work, but at least I'm making some kind of an attempt here to extend the life of the equipment.
With the use of a simple wrench, I can remove the impeller assembly from within the motor housing itself.
I don't know how well you can see this, but to a minor degree, the casing, the black portion that surrounds that magnet, is a little bit scored. it could allow moisture in there, which might in turn allow the magnet to expand. Nothing I can do about that, but I am trying to make an attempt here to prolong the life of the pump as well as the impeller.
After a simple rinse to wash away debris, I can reassemble the impeller with its ceramic shaft and bearings. It's at this point, though, that when storing equipment, you begin to wonder if it would be better off kept separately or assembled as one item.
I probably should consider holding that separately outside it. Maybe that might help if this were to expand. But then again, if it were to expand, it wouldn't do us any good because it wouldn't fit. And if I leave this outside, chances are some of these components are going to get lost. So maybe what I should do is actually put that impeller assembly back inside there. And there we go, ready for storage. And so as you can see, it's just a empty sump now. It's got a sock in the far corner that helps muffle the water coming down from the tank above. I can go ahead and kind of clean the inside of that a little bit and then go ahead and siphon some of the debris off the bottom.
Over time, this system has collected its share of debris down here in the sump or the reservoir below. It could be granules of loose carbon, flakes of calcium carbonate, or the sediment that's excavated from the live rock up in the tank. In addition to removing these debris from the system, it also makes for a much more attractive filter system.
In fact, I may just go ahead and clean the outside of it a little bit as well.
It never hurts to impress your customer by giving them more than they expect, especially when adding or selling new equipment into an established system.
Okay, let's go ahead and siphon some of the debris off the bottom. So it's kind of difficult siphoning at this lower level, so I'm going to try to keep everything as far down or low as possible.
The key to a siphon is moving water to a lower level. The higher or the greater the distance, the stronger the siphon. Since the sump is at the same level as my bucket, the two things I need to do is raise the water level in the sump as high as possible, and we've already done that. The other is to bundle all my tubing into my bucket so as to provide the maximum amount of downward direction the water has to travel.
All right, most of that was just calcareous flakes and a little bit of sediment, not a whole lot. Hello, my name is Jim Stime. I'm with Midwater Systems, and I'm the developer of the Jelly Aquarium. The Jelly Aquarium is a tank designed specifically for the keeping of jellyfish. I offer 5 different sizes of tanks designed to be built into a wall or a freestanding cabinet. I also offer the inexpensive Mini Jelly Aquarium, which has its filter system built into its backside. Additionally, I offer tank-raised moon jellyfish, as well as a line of tanks designed for producing your own jellyfish. For more information on this fascinating world of keeping jellyfish, visit jellyaquarium.com.
When in Los Angeles, make it a point to stop in Long Beach, California at Age of Aquariums, 2642 Cherry Avenue, just off the 405 freeway near Signal Hill. At Age of Aquariums, their knowledgeable staff showcases designer aquariums featuring colorful corals and exotic fish, a spectacular 4-sided 500-gallon living coral reef, along with a wide selection of coral frags and a large selection of saltwater fish, the cute, the graceful, and the not so cute. Age of Aquariums also carries a selection of popular freshwater fish for the beginning hobbyist, along with a full line of aquarium supplies and supplements Age of Aquariums quarantines and medicates all their new fish and proudly provides LA and Orange County's largest aquarium maintenance service. Age of Aquarium is located at 2642 Cherry Avenue, just off the 405 freeway near Signal Hill. Open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. For more information, dial 562-438-6252 or visit ageofaquariums.biz. Have you made your plans yet to attend the Marine Aquarium Expo this coming April 6th and 7th of 2013? This is the largest aquarium consumer trade show in North America and a destination spot for marine hobbyists and coral frag enthusiasts. Held at the Orange County Fair and Event Center and featuring over 70 exhibitors, speakers, demonstrations, and a huge opportunity drawing. There's even a fin zone for entertaining young hobbyists. That's the Marine Aquarium Expo at the Orange County Fairgrounds this coming April 6th and 7th, Saturday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Adults $15, senior and military only $10, and kids under 12 are free. For more information, visit marineaquariumexpo.com.
Come join us at the Marine Aquarium Expo. See you soon.
Reef Hobbyist magazine believes that our hobby, our fellow hobbyists, and the animals in our care are best served by the free distribution of quality information. Reef Hobbyist magazine provides hobbyists with critical husbandry information with an emphasis on marine ornamental breeding efforts. Reef Hobbyist magazine is available for free in local fish stores across the country, or you can subscribe at www.reefhobbyistmagazine.com.
And so, as I mentioned, it's two different pieces. One goes on the inside of the sump. The other one is the lighting that goes on the outside of the sump. And they kind of magnetically grasp each other. So, making sure I've got the right orientation of the one that goes on the inside and making sure this is the one that goes on the inside. So here's the one on the inside. And here's the one on the outside. And they just simply magnetically grasp each other, and that's what holds them in place. And to a certain degree, that's the installation of the HOG Upflow Algae Scrubber. We still need to plug it in, but that's just a matter of plugging it in and tightening up the cable there. We do want to hook up the air pump, and that should be fairly simple as well. So the algae scrubber's in place. I've got the little air pump set off to the side here, and the air line is hooked up to it. I'll sneak that little power line for the air pump right up here to the side. We'll go ahead and plug it in, and you can see there it bubbling. So we predetermined how much power cord we're going to need to get up to the timer. And so we'll bundle this and kind of tuck it off to the side nice and neatly.
As you can see, the scrubber is only about 5 inches wide and 7 inches tall, and was quite easily installed.
And double check it, make sure it works. And you can see the red glow coming from it. Now we need to go ahead and hook up the timer to it. So we've got the timer positioned up here. We've got it set for 8 hours. We've also got it set so it comes on when the lights in the tank are not on. And there you go, that's the scrubber in position there. Now let me show you how this actually is supposed to work. Okay, as I mentioned, they're held together with magnets. This side comes apart, and you can see the piece on the inside has a screen in there with those air bubbles coming across it. And what we want to do is orientate it so that the air bubbles are actually going across the screen. And that looks good there, so I'm going to take and position this to just simply snap or clamp right onto the end of it like that. We're going to readjust our minimum water level because we want this thing to be completely submerged, but at the same time we don't want to leave the sump so full that if the power goes out, it won't be able to hold all the water that might back siphon from the tank. So I'll probably make a new mark somewhere up here, which is about 2 inches higher than the old mark. And we'll strive to keep the water level at that point. Okay, so there was the installation of the HOG Upflow Algae Scrubber, which really was quite simple. I didn't have to get in there and cut anything. I just had to remove or make room for the scrubber. It was suggested that it might be a little bold on my part to remove the protein skimmer right away, but let's face it, with or without the protein skimmer, I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference in the tank at this point. So I went ahead and pulled it out right away just to make the job all inclusive. This unit will probably take a few weeks before it begins to develop algae growth in there, and not until then would I expect to see any big results. But between now and then, I want to make sure that it mechanically is working properly. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and check those test results, and we'll have a starting point, not only from a chemical or chemistry point of view, but we'll also have a starting point as far as a visual or aesthetics point of view. Okay, so here's our test results. It's always difficult to determine this, but in the center too, to me, the closest color, and it doesn't look the same on film, but the closest color is 1.0 on phosphates. Over here on nitrate, again, the colors don't match the same on the camera, but according to this, looks like about 1 part per million of nitrate. So I've got 1.0 parts per million of phosphate, and I've got 1 part per million of nitrate in the tank. So there's our starting point from a water chemistry standpoint, and visually you can see how the tank looks. Fish are all doing well, but my goal again was to try to eliminate the algae growing on the rocks as well as the algae growing on the face of the tank. It's not my intent to put myself out of business because this is a weekly service, but if I can show the customer that I know what I'm doing and there's some progress or results as to my efforts, I think that just makes me look that much better. So that's the installation of the HOG Upflow Algae Scrubber. And again, its big niche is going to be its application, meaning it'll fit small, confined areas. Join us again in a couple of weeks, actually, let's say a couple of months, and we'll come back and we'll take a look at the results with this tank as well as the other tank with the L2 algae scrubber on there and see if they've done the job and meet your approval. Until then, always keep moving forward.